Start with a slip knot and then chain 21. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And I should have said you want to make sure to do those kind of loose because you're going to be crocheting into both sides of the chain later on. So after you've chained 21, do a single crochet into the second chain from the hook in the back bumps. So do a single crochet here. And then stack 2 more single crochets on top of that. So in order to do that, put your hook through the left leg, drop a loop, and then pull through 2. Repeat that same step. Put your hook through the left leg, drop a loop, and then pull through 2. And I call that a triple stacked single crochet, and you'll be using that several times throughout this pattern. Now you want to double crochet into each stitch, each back bump, until there is 1 left, and then when you reach that point, I will tell you what to do next. Alright, there is 1 stitch remaining, so in this last stitch, you're going to do a double crochet, and then chain 2, and then 3 double crochets, just creating our corner and then the top edge of our bag. So 3 double crochets and then chain 2 again. And then a double crochet. So it's a double crochet, 2 chains, 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and then a double crochet. Now we're going to be doing a double crochet back down along the chains in the other side, and this may be a little bit tight, but just do your best. So double crochet again all the way down until you have 1 stitch remaining, and then I'll show you what to do from there. Alright, now that you have 1 stitch remaining, I'll show you what to do, and if you're not sure where your last stitch is, you can just count. So this was the stitch where we did the double crochet chains, and double crochet. So starting after that last double crochet, you can count. You should have 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this will be your last stitch here. So you're going to do a double crochet, chain 2, 3 more double crochets, and then chain 2, and you'll have more yarn than me. I just had to cut mine ahead of time. And then slip stitch to join. So if you're not sure where to slip stitch, you can pull these apart. So this is the triple stacked single crochet, and this is the next double crochet. So here's your second double crochet, and this is where you're going to slip stitch to join. So just the top of it like that. Pull your slip stitch through both loops, and then you'll want to cut your yarn here and pull it through, and you should have a piece that looks like this. Alright, now you want to rejoin the yarn in the center of your piece here. So start with another slip knot. I like to have the loop on the hook already. You may join a little bit differently, however you feel like is fine. And then I'll put it through. Pull up a loop, and we're going to do another triple stack single crochet. So start with a single crochet, and then through the left leg, put your hook through and drop a loop, pull through 2, through the left leg, pull up a loop, draw through 2, and then we're going to double crochet all the way until we reach this chain 2 space. So just double crochet along. Oh yeah, and I'm going to crochet over my tail as well. So double crochet until you reach that chain 2 space, and then I will show you what to do. Okay, so I'm at my chain 2 space. So here you're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets, and then double crochet across the 3, and then you reach your other chain 2 space. You're going to do the same thing, so it's 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets, and then you're going to double crochet across, do the exact same thing in these corners here, which was 2 double crochets, 2 chains, and then 2 double crochets, and then double crochet back across here and slip stitch to join, and then I'll show you what to do once we reach that point. Alright, I just finished my last stitch on the second row, so now I'm going to slip stitch to join, and again, if you're not sure, you can pull these apart. Here's that second double crochet and the top of it, and then here's the top of the triple stacked single crochet. That's where I'm going to slip stitch to join, and then you're pretty much just going to repeat that row. So in this same stitch that you just slip stitched in, you're going to do a single crochet and then complete your triple stack. So into the left leg, pull up a loop, draw through 2, into the left leg, pull up a loop, draw through 2, and then just double crochet until you reach the chain 2 space, where you're going to do 2 double crochets, a chain 2, and 2 double crochets, and then a double crochet, chain 2 space, double crochet around, doing the corners until you come back, and then you just repeat that row until the base of your bag is as large as you want it to be. And then once we reach that point, I will show you how to start building up the sides of your bag. So I have made my base as large as I would like it to be. Now, when you're finished here, instead of doing a slip stitch to join, I'm going to cut the yarn at this point. Your tail doesn't have to be super long, but however long you want it to be comfortable to sew in your ends. So cut it here and then pull it through, and then I like to take my yarn needle and weave it in as a really neat looking edge, because this edge is going to be visible. So I like it to be more neat and not have the typical slip stitch to join here. So put your yarn on your needle, and then where you would have slip stitched, put it through like this underneath, and then through, and then back down through the center of this stitch, and then pull it tight. And you can see how it mimics the look of a crochet stitch. And then you can either tie it off or just weave it in however you like. To begin the next row, go ahead and put a slip stitch on your hook. Oh, and one thing I wanted to say too, the reason I like to do the triple stacked single crochet instead of the chain 3 is you can see how nicely it fills in the holes. Typically if you have a chain 3, there's a big gap right here. But if you prefer to do the chain 3, that's fine. I just prefer the look of this. Plus, it just really hides your joints here pretty well, I feel like. Alright, I've got my slip stitch on the hook here. Go ahead and join anywhere. It doesn't really matter. However, we're not going to be doing a typical join here. We're going to be doing back post double crochets for the entire round. And we're going to be joining that way too. So pick a double crochet stitch. Doesn't really matter which one. Go in from the back, like so, and then through like this. So this is what it looks like from the front. And then pull up a loop, go back through the same way you just came, and then pull through both of your loops. And once again, you're going to do that triple stacked single crochet like we have been doing. And then this round is just going to be all back post double crochets. So go ahead and do that all the way around until you get to the corner, the chain. I will show you what to do once you get there. Okay, I have reached my corner. So what we're going to do here is do 2 regular double crochets, but in the back bumps of these chains. So yarn over and then find the back bump here. So here's 1 and 2. So just do a double crochet into that first one. Sorry for my squeaky hook and yarn here. And then yarn over, do another double crochet here. This one may be a little tighter, so may have to finagle it. Okay, and then complete your double crochet. And then just continue on with your back post double crochets. Hello. And then just repeat that in the corners, and then when you get back to the beginning, slip stitch to join, and I will show you what to do. And you can see how this is creating a nice sharp corner here, so that when you make your bag, it sits nicely. There's a nice corner here. It's not just a rounded edge. I prefer that defined edge. So yeah, continue with your back post double crochets, and then in the corners, do 2 regular double crochets in the back bumps of those chains, and then I'll meet you back to the end of the row. Alright, I have completed my round of back post double crochets, and I already did a slip stitch to join. From now on, there are not going to be any more triple stacked single crochets. We're going to start the rows with double stacked. So go ahead and do a single crochet into that same stitch that you just slip stitched from, and then stack a single crochet on top of it. And there is your double stacked. Now this row is going to be all star stitches. So to do the star stitch, you go back through this left leg, pull up a loop. Don't do anything else with that loop, just keep it there. And then through this bottom one, this other leg, draw it through, pull up a loop. Through this stitch where you did the original single crochet, put your hook through and draw up a loop. And then through the next 2 stitches, pull it through, draw up loops. So you should have a total of 6 loops on your hook here. I did mine a little bit too tight, but try to make it a little bit looser. And then pull up a loop, draw it through all 6. And then chain 1. And then you're going to repeat that throughout the whole row. So I'll show you again. So this one here, you do it through this center stitch here, push it through, pull up a loop, and then through this bottom bit here, push it through and pull up a loop. Through this stitch where you did that last loop, push it through and pull up a loop, and then the next 2 stitches, pull up loops. Again, you should have 6 loops on your hook. Pull a loop and draw it through all 6. Chain 1 and repeat. I'll show you one more time. So you go through this hole here and drop a loop, through this bottom loop here, drop a loop, through this stitch that you had the other loop through, drop a loop, and then the next 2 stitches, draw up loops. You have 6 loops on your hook, draw up a loop and pull through and chain 1. So just repeat that all the way around. Alright, I have reached the end of my star stitch round. I have one more stitch here. I just wanted to show you. You can see I have only 1 empty stitch left, where typically you'd want 2 to finish a star stitch. If you have something similar, it's fine. Just go ahead and do your loops here. And if you want, you can either leave it at the 5 loops, or you can just go into this slip stitch here and complete your star stitch. Either way, and then go ahead and complete your last star stitch with your chain 1, and then slip stitch to join. And then in the same stitch that you just slip stitched, go ahead and do a single crochet, and then just single crochet all the way around. So your next single crochet is going to be in this chain 1 space, and then in this next stitch here, and then in the chain 1 space, and then here, and repeat that all the way around until you get back here. This will be your last stitch here in that last chain one space, and then slip stitch to join. And then you're going to repeat the star stitch row, and don't forget that one starts with a double stacked single crochet, not a triple. And then you're just going to repeat these same 2 rows until you get the height that you want for your bag, and I'll meet you back once I have completed my bag. Alright, I have made my bag as large as I want it to be. I have several stitch markers on here, as you see. So I also left off, my last row was a star stitch row. If you finish with a single crochet row, it doesn't matter. We're just going to do another, essentially a single crochet row, but this is also the row where we do the handle. So all of these stitch markers are, on one side of them is where the handle originates and ends, and then on the other side is where the handle goes through. There's going to be loops, and then these 2 here are also going to be a little loop for the handle to go through to create the self-closing mechanism. So I just kind of eyeballed it. I just kind of like guesstimated where the corner went up here and here, folded it in to where I liked it, matched up where, you know, generally where the handle is going to go, put a stitch marker here in this corner. So with my last row, that's what this stitch marker is, just where my row ended. I didn't bind off yet because I wanted to show you what I was doing here. Go ahead and connect your row with a slip stitch and then chain 1 and cut your yarn, because we're actually going to rejoin. If I can get this slip stitch, hello. There we go. Alright, chain 1, and then you can cut your yarn, just a long enough tail to weave in, however long you want that to be. And then create a slip stitch on your new end. And we're going to rejoin, so you need to decide which side you want the handle to be on and which side you want the loops on. I like to have the handle be on the side that's going to be up against my body, which is also going to be, this is where we were doing all of our, where all the rounds ended, so you can see there's a bit of a jump, so I want that part against my body so it's not visible. So I'm going to have my handle originate on this side, the same side I just cut my yarn on. And we were actually really close to where we need to rejoin the yarn. Yours may be in a slightly different spot depending on where you want everything to be. Oh, and also one thing I forgot to say, these stitch markers, I have them, there's 4 stitches in between. So this would be on the 1st and the 6th for all 4 of these sections, because I want my handle to be 6 rows wide. And then these loops are only going to be 4 chains, because I found that that just fits really well with a 6-row handle. And then these ones are going to be 9 chain stitches, 1 for like the end of it here, and then 4 for each side so that it fits really well with that handle. You're going to join your yarn on the stitch just after the right section of where you want your handle to start. So go ahead and, actually I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to put my hook through, then do my loop. Sometimes I do it a little bit differently, but I don't want that in the front of my project. So go ahead and pull it through, chain 1, and then do your single crochet. And we're going to just do single crochets until we reach this stitch marker. Make sure that you don't count your slip stitch as a stitch here, but single crochet into the same stitch that you put the slip stitch in. So I'm going to have 1 here and then 1 here, slip stitch across. Stop when you reach this stitch marker and I will show you what to do from there. Alright, I reached this last stitch marker. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. So you're going to single crochet into that stitch and then chain how long you want your handle to be. I'm going to do 100 chains, which is kind of a short handle, but you can do however long or short you want. I just like to make sure that the bag can open all of the way, and 100 chains achieves that pretty well. So I'm going to do my 100 chains, and then I will come back and show you what to do next. Okay, I've got my 100 chains here. So now we're going to turn the work upside down and flip this up like this, because we want to slip or single crochet into this stitch here. So go ahead and remove your stitch marker. And then into this stitch, just do a single crochet. Might be a little bit tricky because we're kind of working backwards here. So there's my single. And then you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. And then you're going to turn your work again the right way. And you're going to single crochet into every one of these chain stitches until you get back here. And then I will show you what to do at that point. You also want to make sure that your handle is not twisted. You want to make sure your chain stays straight, because otherwise you're going to have a twisty handle. So go ahead and do those single crochets all the way down. I'll show you what to do when we get here. Alright, I have completed my single crochets, did all the way around the handle, and now I'm back to this other side. So you're going to do the same thing you did on the other side, plus one extra slip stitch. So into this next stitch, do a slip stitch, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. And then once you do these 2 slip stitches, you're going to single crochet back along the handle until you get to this side, where you're going to do 2 more slip stitches, single crochet back here, 2 more slip stitches, single crochet back 1 more time, do 2 more slip stitches, and then you should hit this stitch marker. Take that out, single crochet back 1 last time, and then just do 1 slip stitch, and it should be into your final stitch marker here. And then you can take that out, and once you do that, you can single crochet along your bag until you reach this next stitch marker, and then go ahead and pause, and I'll show you what to do from there. Alright, I finished my handle. I slip stitched to join here, and then I single crocheted, and I have reached this stitch marker. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Do a single crochet into that stitch, and then chain 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now you're going to make sure to put your bag through this loop before you attach it back. So this is going to be a little tricky to do, but otherwise it won't close the way that it's supposed to. Okay. So make sure you're looping it around your handle. Single crochet back into that same stitch. And then you're going to single crochet until you reach your next stitch marker here. And we're going to be doing something very similar to what we did here, but just with spaces in between. So I'll get there and I'll show you how to do that. I have reached this next stitch marker, so go ahead and remove it. Do a single crochet in that spot, and then we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to join where this stitch marker is, but once again you want to make sure that your handle is going through the loop. So join over the handle. Let's go ahead and remove this stitch marker. And then single crochet to join. And then you're going to single crochet across until you reach this stitch marker. We're going to do the exact same thing we just did on this one. So you single crochet into this stitch where the stitch marker is, chain 4. Make sure your handle is underneath the chain 4 that you just made. Connect it back to this stitch marker. Single crochet until you reach this one, which is where we're going to do the exact same thing we did over here, which is single crochet, chain 9. Make sure your handle is underneath of your chains. Connect it back with a single crochet. And then once you do all that, you just single crochet until you reach the end here. Connect it, cut your yarn, and your bag is done. Alright, here's my finished bag. I will weaved in all my ends. Here's just want to show you how the self-closing part of it works here. Let me try to, here we go. So when you pull on it, it closes nicely with the nice edges, and then you can just carry it with the one strap. And there you go. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.